Resident Evil 4 was a masterpiece then, and it still is a masterpiece now. Just like Todd Howard would say, it just works, only this time it actually does. Hit the like button. Now, I know I haven't been very active on this channel, and that's because Daddy's been very busy. But I'm back now. Don't think I left you after getting a pack of cigarettes. No, I have returned and I'm ready to get back to normal. Make sure to subscribe, baby. Now, if you know anything about me, you would know that I'm passionately against remakes. Mainly because usually it's just a cash grab. For example, let's just look at Disney, who are going through their IP so fast that eventually they'll have to do a live action remake of Chicken Little. I can't wait until 2050 when we'll get a 3D animated remakes of live action remakes of 2D animated movies. Thank you very much, classic Disney. See, that's the very bad side of remakes. Enough of those twats. But every now and then we'll get a remake that subverts our already low expectations, and Capcom has been hit or miss, and I don't care what anyone says. RE3 was a disappointment because if you are spending money on something that's already been made, there are no excuses for shortcuts. Having said all of that, Resident Evil 2 was almost as exquisite as my pajamas, and this new Resident Evil 4 remake might actually surpass my splendid turquoise colored pajamas. Now let's get to Resident Evil 4. The premise behind RE4 is so simple that someone with the IQ of Dreamcast guy would be able to figure out. Leon S. Kennedy is sent to a rural Spanish village to save the US president's daughter. She's in the middle of a castle somewhere surrounded by disease-riddled walking carcasses, and you quickly understand that this isn't you falling off a skateboard on Sunday afternoon. No, it's a little bit more dangerous than that. It's that suffocating up-close combat that we're all too familiar with. Now, the original Resident Evil 4 was almost perfect. The setting, the storyline, the gameplay, the weapons, the array of enemies, the pacing, and the eeriness of hearing the hooded drones whispering in Latin. And the remake has somehow made it even better. They have made some improvements to the character development, and I'm all about character development now. Leon's goofy haircut and his superhero personality always felt corny to me. I understood what they were going for, but it never just stuck the landing for me. I really don't mind the odd cheesy line here and there, but if that's one of the main tenets of your main protagonist personality, then you need to go back and read a book on screenwriting. However, the remake still has some cheesy lines, but it's woven into his behavior even more. So it sprinkles in a level of lightness in an organic way. All the other characters that were just one note before have a lot more gravity to them. It's almost as if they're actual participants in the mayhem that's going on, as opposed to just being lines of dialogue to move the plot device forward. As far as the combat goes, the random frenetic lunges that the enemies do have all been intensified, making each encounter with these vicious wanderers unique and satisfying, especially when you do a spinning wheel kick like an MMA fighter to knock their head off their shoulders. That will never get fucking old. I've done it like 1,000 times. The back of my heel, breaking the jaws of these freaks to the point where they fall backwards onto each other like bowling pins, is comically perfect. With each of these hordes that you face, it really dials in the severity of the situation. This level of environmental storytelling really adds to the stakes and the deadliness of this world that you slowly venture into. Linking a stab, a shotgun, and a finisher is way more slicker than the original. You know, I thought that the knife was kind of overpowered, but who cares? Because the knife has a feature that can deflect, and it adds another level of combat to the gameplay. There is a downside to the knife, is that it breaks very fast and doesn't last long, and you have to pick and choose when to parry. And that's a good thing, because the vulnerability plus the opportunity adds a level of risk and reward. The relationship between Leon and Ashley is a lot more believable this time, and the fact that Ashley no longer requires health items when injured instantly makes her way less annoying. Thank you very much, and the banter is a lot more organic unique and not shoehorned every time something happens. The Resident Evil 4 remake is phenomenal. They don't add too much while not taking away too much and not overdoing anything. And that's pretty much all I can say, because if I say anything else, I'll get struck down on YouTube. Capcom is indeed taking down spoilers, and on that bombshell, Manix out.